This conference will now be recorded.
Good afternoon. This is Jack from Charting the Markets, and this is the Bigger Picture webinar for Sunday, the 25th of August. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing, and learn from it, transfer it to your own charts, so I'm not here to issue trading signals. Right, okay, so what happened last week? Well, we'd had a sharp decline, and then we had a sharp move up. We did get a bit of a retracement here, which was nice to see. So we will see how it goes. In the meantime, we haven't got any negative divergence here. We eventually made this sell signal, third one after this very, very strong rise up, and no current divergence. On NQ, we haven't reached the high after this retracement yet either, slower than ES so far. RTY has gone considerably higher, finally got some fire underneath it because it was rather slow off the uptake here. So it looks as though we might actually see a retest of this high here up in the 2320 area. On YM, made a higher high after the retracement over the new weekly pivot at 41,087 and within striking distance of a retest of this high here in the 41,700 area. Looking at DAX and ESDX, we didn't really get much of a retracement on DAX or ESDX last week. I need to move this trend line slightly, I think, but we might be getting some patterns together after that retracement, even if it wasn't a great deal on either of these. These could be double tops. This wouldn't be a bad looking double top on ESTX, and not a great one on DAX. But what I would say is we've still got 60-minute sell signals because these are the only ones which didn't make target. All right, let's have a look at the bigger picture charts. Now, the first thing to say is we did see a bit of a retracement, and that has actually given us some patterns. This is something I've been muttering about in the mornings as we were going up and waiting for this, because without retracement, it's very difficult to get any kind of pattern. We've now got a very nice looking rising channel. Now, obviously, if it heads up into the resistance here, and I've got that in about the 5720 area. But this is a very, very steep channel. It may be all break down. We're pretty close to having a double top here. We've seen a couple of highs slightly below this high here at 56.43. We shall see. All right, looking at the 15-minute chart. No current divergence. This is that channel, and obviously we've got a target up here at a retest of this high here at 56.69.67, and really I'm expecting that to be made fairly soon. On the hourly chart, we've got an RSI 14 sell signal fixed. RSI 5 one already made target, so I've got that marked as an RSI 5, which is an RSI 14. This looks like a bull flag. When we were down here, I was suggesting this might be a bull flag, so we had this beautiful trend line on here, and it's now broken up. We're pretty close to a retest for high, and I'm expecting to see that retest. Looking at the 45 DMA chart, we're now comfortably back over the 45 DMA, but not far from it. So we'd need to go considerably higher before it would really register anything particularly. We've now got, as soon as we retest this high, we will have a possible RSI 5 sell signal bring. We've got a weak sell signal fixed. But so I've marked them as RSI 5 sell signals bring. We're pretty close to retest this high. I think we'll see it imminently, but it's not actually quite true until then. The new weekly pivot is at 56.09, and we closed the week fairly comfortably above it at 56.34 at the daily upper band. It's so already getting pretty close to it. To get to the daily upper band, we will need to make a new high with a bit of force. Right, NDX. This is the only one I didn't have a decent pattern. In fact, we didn't quite reach this existing support trend line. We didn't. If I ignored that and just used the trend line up here, it didn't give us an obvious pattern. On the 15-minute chart, we've got an on the hourly chart, we've got an RSI 14 sell signal fix. On the daily chart, we're getting close to the daily upper band, which is significantly below this high here at 20.7K. Retest of this high would give us a nice looking 5-minute divergence on the daily chart. New weekly pivot is at 19.702. All right, looking at Dow. Dow, we got another channel here, and again, if we're going to head up into the channel resistance, I've got that currently at about the 41,750 area and rising rapidly. We do have on the 5-minute chart an RSI 5 sell signal brewing, RSI 14 sell signal brewing. That's a very short-term thing. Nothing on the 15-minute. We've got a weak RSI 14 sell signal fixed on the hourly because that is left over and never made the target. I'm expecting to see a retest of this high in the pretty near future. The high is at 41.7k, and that is the all-time high. That could be making the second high of a double top. We will see. New weekly pivot is at 49.89. All right, let's have a look at IWM. IWM, we didn't get a channel here, but we got a decent looking megaphone, albeit it starts from here. Nice looking support trend line here. So watching this with great interest, but the main patterns I'm watching are the two channels on SPX and Dow. Looking at the 15-minute chart, no current divergence. Quite a way short of the retest of 228.63. So we will see how that goes. In terms of the bigger picture chart, the retest of the all-time high would be at 235.46. We've not yet approached that. The all-time high on IWM was still made in 2021. All right, looking at the hourly chart. No current divergence. We had a little sell signal here, which has failed. Nice move up through this resistance here. We had a couple of days of resistance and then bounced up through it. I think we're likely to see a retest of this high too at 228.63, and we may well get new highs across the board, but it wouldn't be a new all-time high yet on IWM, of course.
This conference will now be recorded.
All right, on the daily chart, the new weekly pivot is at 217.84, and we've got this double band of support at 217.50 to 217.84, which might be back tested on a retracement if we see one early next week. All right, looking at DAX. DAX, no current divergence on the daily chart, getting pretty close to a retest of the all-time high there. Nikkei is still a significant way short of that. We came down a long way on Nikkei. So we're still some way short. We are short still of the 50 DMA and the 100 DMA. And we've just got over the 200 DMA. We saw a gap over it. I'm liking the upside here, but we might see some resistance here, and this is likely to be a match with or at least close to a match with Dow and SPX retesting their all-time highs. All right, great. Let's have a look at the dollar.
This conference will now be recorded.
All right, dollar. We saw a very decent move down, and that's got us down into about the 150 area. And I'll have a look at that on the bigger picture with bonds, where on bonds, hang on for a second. Bonds, we've got what still looks like a wedge which is trying to break down. I'm thinking the next move on bonds may well be down. This could be an ABC, overall bull flag, maybe. We will see how that goes. But keeping an open mind on that for the time being, we're not seeing an awful lot on TNX. Let's just run through the rest of the currencies quickly. EURUSD, nice looking rising wedge. Looks as though this might be about to turn back down. GBP USD, don't really have a pattern here, but again, looking pretty overbought short term. USD JPY, yes, next target would be a retest of this low here at about the 141.35 area. It's not showing a lot of enthusiasm for getting there though, and if we see a button bounce on the dollar, we may just see another move up, and actually this could make a rather better bear flag. On USD CAD, we have seen a long way down. Not a bad looking wedge there either. Wouldn't be a bad time to see a decent bounce. Australian dollar, nice looking wedge. Hasn't quite made it to resistance, but again, we could see a pullback. We have gone and retested this high here, which was a key target, and we've made it to this IHS target, which basically was at that level. I'm expected to go just a smidgen higher to do a full retest of the high, which it hasn't quite made yet. NZUSD has retested that high and gone higher. Don't really have an obvious pattern on this, but it's looking obviously very overbought short term. All right, let's have a look at the bigger picture on those. Let's have a look at, hang on, wait a second. Right, let's have a look at the US dollar. Okay, US dollar. We saw a strong move down. Now, this has actually given us some decent looking positive divergence. We've got a possible daily RSI 14 bicycle brewing, got an RSI 5 bicycle brewing. We've made it almost down to this target here. The two targets I was mentioning last week on the downside were this low here at 132 and this low slightly below that at 99.22. 100 is obviously a big psychological level, and we're getting very close to it. Looking at the bigger picture daily chart, hard to put. This has basically been a long consolidation. Hard to really put a pattern on it, but I think this has got a pretty good chance of being a consolidation, which leads to another leg down. And I've got a target for that, which you can see on this weekly chart at this trend line here, which I've now got in about the 95 area, 94.75 to 95 area. This has been a long consolidation. You often get these on the dollar. It's taken a couple of years, but I think this might be about to head down there. Watching the 200-week moving average at 100.2. I don't think we've got anything on the daily chart. This is the ribbon of moving averages above. I'm not really expecting those to get challenged. Even if we see a rally here, it's probably not going to get over there. All right, looking at TNX and TYX. TYX, we've still got an RSI 14 sell signal fixed. We're getting pretty close to target on the RSI 5 one. And obviously, we've seen some significant downside. And we're actually currently below the monthly middle band. And on TNX, we're also well below the monthly middle band, which basically started the month below it. Those are significant breaks. We're almost at the target on the RSI 5 sell signal here. And chances are I'm going to be calling both of them on TYX and TRX at the end of the month. But we'll still have these RSI 14 sell signals fixed, and actually there's a pretty good chance it's going to make target. The last one I had like these made target. We will see. So actually I don't have actually 1, 2, 2. This was a continuation of this one here. 3. This is the fourth on this chart. All of the other 3 made target, and with interest rates now going down, and probably we're going to see a couple of follow-on interest rate cuts after this. This is a very good time for it to drop. But what I was hoping to see was an obvious reversal pattern form. This is why I was thinking we might well retest this high at 49.97. We haven't seen that, and we could still be forming a bull flag. I have to say the timing for the bull flag doesn't look great. But it is something I'm wondering about. And hang on, I'm just going to draw a quick trend line here, because if this is a bull flag, that would be an obvious trend line, which would be the fairly obvious place to be going. That's not far below. I've got that down at about the just under 35, 34.75 area, and obviously we've got a potential head and shoulder neckline in the 32.5 area. 5.3 area. I'm not seeing any particular reason to think that one or the other of those won't get reached. On the hourly chart, no current divergence. And the obvious next move would be a retest this low here. Even if we're going to see a rally, probably retest the low before we did that. All right, great. Let's have a look at energies. Looking at CL, we've seen a bit of a bounce here. Now, on the bigger picture, I'll be talking about the triangle, which broke down slightly, but it only broke down very slightly. It didn't look decisive. We've seen a nice move up. We had a buy signal. That's now made target. And we didn't make a lower low under this low here at 70.89. So at the moment, I'm giving this the benefit of the doubt. The next target would be weekly pivot at 75.53 and monthly pivot at 77.73. If we can make it over those, then this will be looking promising. NG, when we reach this level here, I was saying the ideal right shoulder low for an inverted head and shoulders would be this level here, which is actually at about the 2.2 area. We've gone a little lower than that, got down to 215, but this is a very, very nice potential inverted head and shoulders. It's very nice indeed. But fairly soon, I'd be expecting it to break up. We've got a 60-minute bicycle fixed here, nice little bottom set up, positive divergence. This could be the bottom of the right shoulder, and I'd quite like it to be. Let's have a look at that on the bigger picture. And on oil, on the bigger picture daily chart, you can see the triangle here, and you can see that we've broken slightly below it, but it wasn't a great deal. This actually could be fine for the triangle here. It's definitely not the second low of a double bottom, even though it got below the 71.67. We had a buy signal at the first low, which we don't have here, but this has got a possibility of being a low. I will be impressed if it can get over the daily middle band, which I've now got at 75.36. Looking at natural gas, nice looking inverted head and shoulders forming here on the hourly chart, and on the bigger picture chart, this too could be a triangle, and the obvious next target would be triangle resistance, which would be in the 3 area. Now, if we go back and look at the IHS we've got here, if we were to see a sustained breakup over the 242 area, this would actually have a target in about the 285 area. That would get pretty close to that resistance at 3. So I'm really liking this IHS. And I think it's got a decent chance of making target. We shall see. If it fails hard, i.e. fails to break up and head straight down, or breaks up and then fails, then because there's a lot of potential to fail here. We've got the 100, the 50, and the 200 all collapsing into a point here at about 2.3. And these are all resistance for it to break up. Now, if it can get over those, then we're, again, looking pretty good to go higher. If it fails here, then we can see a retest of this low here at 1.882, and on a break of this trend line here, which it would need to get to 1.882, then we may be looking at a retest of this low here at 1.522. But right now, it's a very, very nice looking IHS, and we will see how it goes. All right, let's have a look at the GC chart. Now, GC has made a higher high here. Looks as though the obvious next target would be a retest of this high. I'm not seeing another obvious pattern, and that could be the second high of a double top. I'll show you more to support that on the GC daily chart. I'm skeptical. This could just head higher, but if we are looking at a rally on dollar here, which we could be, then this would be a good time for this to retrace. On silver, we've broken up from this double bottom with a target, twin targets in about the 31.3 area and the 32.10 area, but at the moment it's not been making any progress there. This could be a double top forming. This could be about to see a larger retracement, and we need to break and convert this double resistance and support at the weekly pivot and monthly pivot in the 29.5 area. Looking at HG, HG is now rolled into December. Nice looking potential inverted head and shoulders here, but really it would be better if the right shoulder started from here. We've only just hit the ideal neckline. And we did a right shoulder low that got us back into about the 4.807 area. I'm wondering whether we might see a retracement on metals here that might deliver that. So we shall see. Looking at the bigger picture on metals, we've got on gold, on the daily chart, we have got a trend line here, which we are testing. I'd written it on last week, watching possible trend line resistance in the 25.65 area. I'm watching this, and we've not broken over it with any confidence yet. No current divergence, but I'm wondering about it. On the GC daily chart, not a lot to say. Made it to the 3SD upper band there, and we're seeing a bit of a retracement. That's not an uncommon event. Actually, on the GC futures, so I'm not reading a huge amount into it. Looking at the silver chart, this could still be a bull flag. Watching for a firm break over the 50 DMA that actually consolidates above it, and then we could see a test of this declining resistance, currently in about 31.3 area. Looking at palladium, could be consolidating for another move up, no current divergence. Platinum, obvious target here would be trendline resistance up here at about the 990 area. Could this be a double bottom formed? Yeah, but it's messy. I'm not reading too much into that. On copper, we've got a possible falling wedge which is trying to break up here, potential inverted shoulders, opportunity to form, break over declining resistance trend line. Waiting to see what happens here, but I quite like the inverted head and shoulders. And we had an RSI. We've got a possible RSI 5 sell signal brewing here, but we're still on the original RSI 14 buy signal. So the RSI 5 sell signal could give us a right shoulder on that pattern. So waiting to see. On GDX, possible double top here on GDX daily. We're still on an old RSI 14 sell signal, which never delivered anything and might be close to being ignored at this stage. Nothing on the hourly chart, but you can see the nice looking double top. Not quite as nice on GDXJ, where we've got a possible double top, but it's a lower high for the second high. No current divergence there either. Nothing on the hourly chart either. So we shall see. All right, great. Let's move on to commodities.
This conference will now be recorded.
All right, KC made it up to the retest this high. This is the possible second high of a double top, so I'm watching what happens here, but at the moment it just looks like a bull flag forming, setting up a retest of this short-term high, but we need to get over that resistance with force to start killing off the idea that this might be a double top. Still on a 60-minute sell signal. Looking at SB, broken up from declining resistance here. Nice looking double bottom. Got resistance in about the 18.9 area. If we see a sustained break up over that, then we can see it move up into about the 20.4 area. So we shall see. CC could still be a bear flag, but we've gone over the original trend line that I was looking at. It could be that we're going to head back up and retest this high, but it looks, well, we will see how that goes. Looking at CT, nice looking double bottom, which is broken up. It's got targets in about the 75 to 75.3 area, which is pretty close to a retest of this high. I quite like this pattern. It may well make a target. ZW has gone a little lower. This has not been improving the reversal pattern position here, but we do have a possible 6-minute buy signal brewing now. Corn, 60-minute buy signal fix, decent looking double bottom still. Soy broke up from a double bottom here and maybe falling back into the lows, no current divergence. Lumber, we've broken this declining resistance. We've made it to the first target here. This may just be a bull flag forming, but it could be that we're going to see a larger reversal here, but there's no really obvious reversal pattern to deliver that. But there is, if you look at the slightly less obvious, I could draw a neckline there, and potentially this could be a head and shoulders breaking down. Watching with interest. It's not compelling enough to actually draw in, but I'm watching with interest. Live cattle has gone a little lower. We made the double top target. I was a little doubtful it would, but it did. We've got declining resistance in about the 179 area. There's not much happening to the upside until we either form a reversal pattern or get over that neckline and convert it. Sorry, trend line and convert it. We will see how that goes. On lean hogs, we broke up from a little flag here, made it back up into the retest of this high, and it is continuing high for the moment. No particularly obvious reason to think that is about to stop. All right, let's have a look at those on the daily charts. And on the daily chart, KC, no current divergence, possible double top, as I've mentioned. Sugar, nice looking double bottom here. If we can see a break up, we can see a test of this trend line here, 19.75 and potentially higher. This is a big falling wedge on sugar. It would be nice to see it break up. If it doesn't break up, then the obvious target would be the support down here in about the 17 to 16.75 area. On cocoa, this is looks like a big consolidation triangle, which is breaking up. We might be looking at a retest of this high. On wheat, RSI 14 buy signal fixed. The RSI 5 buy signal has failed. We've gone a little lower. I've drawn this as a potential falling wedge. If it is a falling wedge, then we're probably going to see a move down to about the 515 area. On corn, RSI 14 buy signal fixed. Still struggling at the lows here. Soy, a weak RSI 14 buy signal is fixed. A weak RSI 5 buy signal is fixed. We will see how it goes. But this looks short term like a little bear flag forming, but this could be forming a larger pattern to take this higher. I'm a little doubtful. These grains have been very weak for a while, and they've not been given any boost by the drop in the dollar so far. On cotton, RSI 14 buy signal fixed. Possible RSI 5 sell signal brewing. We're at an inflection point here with a breakup over this double bottom, but if we were to make target on this double bottom, it would take us to this higher resistance level, or pretty close to it, at 75.84. This has been a big decline on cotton, and I think it's overdue a bounce. First, though, it needs to get over this declining resistance, which I've got in about the 71.4 area. We shall see. And that is everything. I'm planning to do the next one of these on Tuesday night. So I will catch you then. I'm going to be I'm going to be starting to do the evening videos and the weekend videos. I'm not going to, probably not going to invite people and post times for these for the first week or so. But after that, after the first week or two, I will set times for these, and you can attend them if you like. All right, great. In that case, everyone have a good rest of the weekend, and I'll catch you tomorrow.